So for this project, I'll be using the Red Heart Soft Essentials yarn. It is in the color Biscuit. It's a size 5 yarn and it needs a 6.5 hook. So for this, you'll need your yarn, a hook that size corresponds to your yarn, some scissors, and a needle, a sewing needle. I like to start all of my crochet projects doing the foundation stitches as opposed to doing the regular chain stitches. How to do that? You create a slip knot, so you basically just wrap the yarn around your 2 fingers, and you do that by holding this part of the yarn, wrap it around, and then hold both pieces, and then with your hook go through that hole, grab the yarn, and then pull, and that is your slip knot. So you want to tighten it just a little bit, but not too tight because you still want it to slide on the hook. And so you yarn over, hold onto this part right here, and then pull through. And continue holding on to this part. You yarn over, enter this hole, yarn over again, and pull through. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. So you yarn over again and go through the first loop, not all 3, just the first one right here. Go through that, and then you yarn over again, and then go through all 3, and that counts as your first stitch. To do it again, just yarn over, go through this part right here, make sure you have 2 at the bottom, yarn over and pull through. Now you have 3 loops again on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first one only, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's your second stitch. So yarn over, go through this part, yarn over again, pull through, then you yarn over, go through 1, yarn over, go through, and you just continue, yarn over, go through it, yarn over, go through it again, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, go through this part, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through 1, yarn over, go through all 3. And so you just want to continue doing this until the length of it goes around your head or matches the circumference of whoever's head that you're doing this headband for. So since I'm just doing this for myself, I can just put it against my head as a reference. But if you're doing it for someone else, get their measurements, and you would want to, with measuring tape, make sure that it fits their circumference. So I just want to say that I personally don't find it beneficial when patterns say do this many stitches, do that many stitches, because everyone uses different size yarn, different size hooks, or even their tension is different. So I personally go off of measurements instead of going off of other people's stitch count, because I find that it usually ruins projects for me. That does not mean that you should not count your own stitches. You should definitely count your stitches so that way you know that each row is even and each row has the same amount of stitches. So I originally crocheted this to 19 inches, but then when I stretched it out, it went out all the way to 25.5 inches, and the circumference of my head is only 21.5 inches. So I took away a few stitches, so that way when I stretched it out, it would only be in between 21.5 inches to 22 inches. So that way it would fit my head and not be too tight and not be too loose. I don't want it to go over 22 inches. I don't want it to go over half an inch of what the circumference is. After you've completed your first row, you want to yarn over the hook once and then pull through. After that, you turn your work and then you start the second row. This row will probably be easier than the first row was because you don't have to do all those extra steps. You're just doing a regular half double crochet. So to do a half double crochet, what you do is you yarn over the hook, you go through the first hole, and you want to make sure that you have 2 of these in it. You yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. You want to make sure that you go through both of these so that it doesn't create a different look than what you're going for, because that's a different type of stitch. So you just yarn over again, go through the hole, go through both of them, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through all 3. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through all 3. And you just continue this for the rest of the row. A general rule when it comes to crochet is you want the number of stitches for each row to be the same if you want your project to be even. So if you want it to be straight, like each row has to have the same number of stitches. So this would count as a stitch, this would count as a stitch, this would count as a stitch, etc. So this is a stitch, this is a stitch, this is a stitch, this is a stitch. So the stitches on the second row and the first row match. Like for each row they have to be the same. Because if the second row has less stitches than the first row, then you are decreasing, which will result to your project going like this, going inwards. And if your second row has more stitches than your first row, then you're increasing, which will result like this. So you want it to be even. You want the same number of stitches in each row. So when you reach the end of this row, you just do the same thing that you've done in the other rows. You yarn over and pull through. So then you turn your work once again. You'll continue with your half double crochets. You yarn over, go through the hole, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through all 3, and you just continue. So now I'm all done with the base of the headband. and it is about 3.5 inches. So now what you want to do is put both ends side by side so that you can connect both sides together. So what you want to do, obviously at the last stitch, just go ahead and yarn over, pull through just like you have for each and every other row, and then you want to connect each row to the other row. So this row will connect to the corresponding row, so it's still the same row. Like this is row 7 and this is row 7. So you want them to connect with each other. You want row 6 to connect with row 6. You place the hook through row 7 on one end and then through the other end of row 7. Yarn over, pull through, and then immediately just pull through. These are slip stitches, so you're going to do it again with row 6. So you go through row 6 this end and on the other end of row 6. Yarn over, pull through, and then immediately pull through. Go through row 5. Go to the other side of row 5. Yarn over, pull through, and then pull through. Row 4 again. Row 4. Yarn over, through, pull through. Row 3, row 3, pull through, row 2, row 2, yarn over, pull through, and then first row through. And then, so this would be obviously the inside of the headband, and this would be the outside. Where we connected the two ends is where we're gonna have the scrunch for the bow. Cut the yarn, but you want to leave a good amount of yarn still connected, so that way you can scrunch this part up with the yarn that you just cut. You're gonna loop over the hook and then pull all the way through the hole and just tighten it. Thread your needle, put the needle through the headband, but you want to do so like a wave. That's how I think about it. You go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Pull it, and then I'm gonna go again, down, up, down, up, down, up, and go through. You can wrap the string around just to make it tighter. So now that we have it like this, we're gonna set this aside or unless you want to leave it like this. I know I've seen some headbands where it's just the string in the middle that's like this. I personally don't do that. Instead, I crochet a little piece that I put in the middle, and I'm gonna do the foundation chain once again. So you do your slip stitch, hold on to this piece, pull through, yarn over, go through the hole, yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 3, yarn over, go to the bottom, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through 1, yarn over, go through all 3. Make sure that it fits. You can just wrap it around and make sure that it can touch on both ends. After I check that it's long enough, yarn over, pull through, and then I just do single crochets instead of half double crochets. So with single crochets, instead of yarning over before you go through the hole, all you do is just go straight into the hole, and then you yarn over, and then yarn over again and pull through. So you go through the hole, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, go straight to the hole, grab the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. So then I check if it's as thick as I want it to be, and it is. So what I do now is I cut the string with a little piece remaining, and then you yarn over and pull through all the way, and pull. So then you grab the headband, with this piece you can just tuck it into here. So what I mean by that is you put the needle through in between each stitch, so that way it's not like this on one side and like that on one side. You want it completely in the middle of the stitches, so we can't see the needle on either side. So then you thread your needle, and then you pull it through. You tug on it a little bit so that way you hide it. And I thread the needle with this end. I'm just gonna wrap this around more. Yeah, so like I said before, you can just leave it like this. Obviously, if you want to leave it like this, you should tighten the string up. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap this around, and then on the other side I'm going to sew the ends together. the headband. So this is the final product. Thank you so much for watching my video. I truly appreciate you taking the time for watching it. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you don't already, please follow me on my Instagram at mil.rosas.crochet. I will appreciate it very much. Again, thank you so much for watching my video. Mil gracias. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.